himself now. And I think we're going to declare fire by tributing the flame banshee. And we are finally seeing the Thunder Dragon Colossus.
Nice.
Which is also an end piece board of the Ritual Beast strategy. Also a really strong card, I have to say.
Yeah, the denial of a lot of the searches, a lot of the recurrence, just so powerful. Again, it's been a while since we've seen it, but right now it's looking very good, very formidable. And honestly, this is the ideal start for the Ritual Beast deck.
So the Magnamut will still resolve because it can still declare it under Colossus, because theoretically you can get also a dragon from the graveyard to your hand, but while resolving it will just not do anything. And we also see an IP Masquerader. I think this is like probably the best end board that you can get without steeds, and we are destroying our flag.
Because fire was declared with the Arc Nemesis Protoss.
Exactly.
Yeah. So even if this is turn 2 Tenpai Dragon, even if Lepsy is in a very comfortable position to go second, suddenly that position not looking so comfortable as you have to face down the Thunder Dragon Colossus, the Arc Nemesis Protoss declaring fire, and of course the Ritual Beast Ulti Reira Utari. Even if it's Yubel, you can't tribute stuff.
Yeah. So I buy effect from the opponent, so the Raigeki wouldn't have resolved. But Lepsy's hand seems really strong, and it is Tenpai. We are going to negate, I think, the Colossus, the IP, and I think the third card doesn't even matter.
So I would expect the final card in hand to be just one Tenpai Dragon monster, but we've seen one is enough to get things started. Lepsy, credit to this player, they've played through what was otherwise a very scary field.
So the Ritual Beast Tamer Lara can banish herself if a Ritual Beast card would be destroyed by effect.
Yeah.
By banishing itself, it also special summons a Ritual Beast monster from the deck.
Very strong.
So we're seeing a Spiritual Beast Canna Hawk hit the field, which doesn't do anything at the moment.
And there we said it, just the Tenpai Dragon Paidra. It was one Tenpai Dragon monster, but one is all you need. You can get the Sangen Summoning, you can get the Sangen Kaimen. Both of these are available, and it's the Sangen Kaimen that has been chosen. The quick play can be used in the battle phase. We now have the attack from the Tenpai Dragon. Is there any response from Ilhami?
We cannot use it this turn because we're still locked under Protoss.
Ah, yes.
And I think what's really good about the Ritual Beast strategy is if they get to combo and you somehow get to survive that one turn, the follow-up is just really good. Yeah. Because you have a full graveyard, you can special summon Ultinocchio Draco from the extra deck for free, basically.
And this is why he discarded the Shifter for cost, because he knew he'd have the full graveyard to play with on this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Presence of mind there from Ilhami. Love to see it.
So yeah, as I said, banishing two Ritual Beast monsters from the graveyard to summon Ritual Beast Ultinocchio Draco, which will trigger Ritual Beast Tamer Lara once again.
Yep, grabbing a Ritual Beast monster from the deck here.
And I think that's just Kanahawk. It has to be Kanahawk again, right? Or Pengu, maybe? It is built to be Kanahawk.
Lepsy now with that face down Sangen Kaimen set. Where does he go from here? Ilhami now confirming that there is a Ritual Beast monster in the hand.
I think if you're Ilhami now, you just have to make sure that you can play around the Sangen Kaiming, special summoning Chundra, for example, from the deck. Because if they get to the Chundra and you cannot interact with it, they will summon the Sangen Pai Transcendent Dragon, which will force you to attack into it. And I think if that happens, you're losing the game.
Spiritual Beast Kanahawk now, the effect is resolving. Illumi in a really great position here. We mentioned just how impressive that turn 1 was. It got dealt with. Lepsy did a fantastic job of almost clearing the field. The ulti Reroute does stand tall, however, and further reinforcement is coming in the form of the ulti Canhawk and the ulti Nochia Drago.
Yeah, so Ritual Beast ulti Canhawk will now recycle to banish Ritual Beast monsters once again. And also tagging out to special summon Ritual Beast monster from the banished pile. And I think we're trying... I mean, one option that we could do is we could summon ulti Galapelio.
Yeah.
Which would then negate the Paimon, because we know we have a Ritual Beast card in hand. And
Ritual Beast Steeds being added.
Also a really strong card, which is usually an end board piece, but not last turn. Ritual Beast Apelio banishing a Ritual Beast card from the graveyard to push every Ritual Beast monster by 500 attack and defense points.
More importantly, getting that banish off though, so that there's further setup.
Exactly, yeah.
And further potential for extension here. Illumi, you have to consider, is in a very good position to close this one out in this turn.
Yeah, but still, one little mistake and you're playing against an Internet Paimon. But yeah, as I said, you're just going for the Ulti Beast, Ulti Galapelio, which is a really nice card with a really beautiful artwork. And we can go now into the battle phase without worrying about the Sangen Kaiman.
Yeah.
We should have attacked with the Predatory first, because we get no damage off the Hydra. But I think that's fine. Shouldn't really matter.
So this has to be Steeds face down,
yeah,
you'd imagine. So a quick 2 destruction.
I think I would have maybe kept the Steeds in hand. Because the Steeds would have been a Ritual Beast card in hand.
Yep.
Which then would be an Omni negate with the Ulti Galapelio. But I think, yeah, as I said earlier, it shouldn't really matter. I think Ilhami is in a really good spot right now. It looks really good for him.
It is a clear field.
Yeah, and Ilhami takes it.
Convincing victory for the Ritual Beast deck there. We saw the Arc Nemesis Protoss, we saw the Ritual Beast Ulti Reroute, and we saw the Thunder Dragon Colossus.
Yeah, so I can tell you a bit about the matchup if you want to.
Please.
So, as we can assume, Ritual Beast will always go first against Tempai, no matter what. And the Ritual Beast strategy is a strategy that just plays so well into Tempai, because your end board pieces are just floodgates, lingering floodgates, even from your turn up to the next turn, up to your next turn with the Protoss, where it says you cannot special summon any fire monsters. So if Protoss resolves or Colossus is on the field, you're just having a bad time. So I think the matchup is really, really, really favored for Ritual Beast, as we just saw. And I think we already have the next feature ready. You can go into that if you want to.
I think we do. We have another game from round 6 ready for you. We saw Ritual Beast versus Tenpai Dragon. This time around, what will we see? Cthulhu will be taking on King Yami. I think that's Tour Guide from the Underworld, by the way.
Against
and Emergency Teleport.
Orchest, interestingly enough.
Okay, so Trickstar actually getting a lot of new support, which was very intriguing.
Also really good support. Also with Light Stage now being unlimited again.
Goblin Biker.
Yeah, I'm seeing a Goblin Biker card. Yeah, nice. That's really nice. I think we're linking. We are going for an Exceed summon into the Goblin Biker Big Gabonga.
Yep, Big Gabonga now ready to play.
So the Goblin Biker Big Gabonga can search a Goblin monster on summon. And the gimmick of the Goblin Biker deck is that they can detach Exceed materials from any side of the field to trigger their additional effects.
Okay. Going to just end on an IP Masquerena, however.
Okay, now Trickster Light Stage will search a Trickster monster from the deck. It also has an additional effect where you can target not a forbidden, a face down spell and trap card. Your opponent then has the option. Do you want to chain it, or do you just don't want to use it until the end of the turn?
Yeah. There was no target for the impermanence anyway.
So it just stays there, and now in the end phase it leaves the field. And Cthulhu is just left with no cards, drawing an infinite impermanence against 6 cards in hand in King Yami's hand.
Can you tell me more about how these two strategies, so tied to Link summoning, play around each other?
So the Trickster strategy just got support, as you said.
Yeah.
The new card, I think it's the Blue... Is it Blue Angel?
I believe it's Aqua Angel.
Aqua Angel, yeah. That lets you special summon a card, a Trickster card from the graveyard, if you have a fusion monster in your graveyard.
Ah, that is Trickster Noble Angel.
Noble Angel, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Noble Angel lets you do that. And what you want to do is you want to link off a fusion monster going into the Noble Angel to then use the additional effect, and then you can also power card.
Yeah.
So I think the new support is really good.
And Dingyatsu, the Orchestra of the Evening Star, now coming out. Can you tell me more about what this does to interact with that strategy as well? Because Goblin Biker seems to be on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, so ideally you don't want to end on a XYZ card against Goblin Bikers because they can make use out of it by triggering their own effect. But in this certain game it didn't matter because we were going for a game anyway with the Gizmek Orochi.
Yeah.
Which is also a really nice card, a card that I like. It was part of my first ever Master Duel deck, funnily enough.
Wow.
I played triple Gizmek Orochi in that deck. Now seeing that again, it's a stable card in Orcus.
Yeah.
Because it's a level 8 body that you can summon every turn. It also has an additional effect where you can banish cards from your extra deck face down, then pop a card on the field. And it just goes hand in hand with the Orcus decks because it's a level 8 monster.
It's been a while since I've seen Trickstar in particular, so seeing these two legacy strategies come together and claim a victory in such convincing fashion was really refreshing to see.
It was nice to see. The Trickster engine is something that I think we will see more often now with the new support.
It's got very minimal burn damage these days, and instead just uses the ability to get access to further extenders again and again and again. Right?
So back in the day, it always used to burn you for like 200, 300 here and there.
Yeah.
And now with the new support, you can extend so often and go in. You can even link climb now, which is something that the deck couldn't do before. But now with the new cards, you can link climb. You can maybe set up an Appaloosa next to an IP by already burning the opponent by like 2 to 3k of life points. So that's something that makes the deck now good again.
Yep.
And I think we have a next feature match ready.
So yeah, we have another game from round 6 ready for you now. We saw Trickstar, we saw Orcust, we saw Goblin Biker.
What's missing?
Apparently Voiceless Voice versus Mathmech again.
And do you see that one trap card in the Voiceless Voice hand?
Is it Summon Limit?
It is Summon Limit. So I think what I would do here personally, I would just play into the Maxi. Luckily enough, we have Ash Blossom. I think we should have Ash the effect of. We're now going to Ash the effect of Diviner. I think I would still use my spell card to summon the Soravis and then just end on the summon limit because that's just something that's really hard to deal with for any deck. Because it limits you, as the name says, to just 2 summons. Yeah. So now we have Martinex Circular, one of the scariest cards to play against. The Sigma hits the board, and now we have Summon Limit, and now we just pass.
So Summon Limit, of course, very impactful against these strategies that are so contingent on link climbing.
Yeah, and luckily enough, we kept the Soravis in hand to now dodge the Effect Veiler from Alucard.
Yeah.
And which will make sure that the
Diviner of the Herald is able to resolve and get access to the Voiceless Voice ritual cards.
Yeah. We're going for the Soravis because if the Tiras is already in the graveyard, the Trias is already on the field, as you can see.
Trias Hierarchy, yeah.
And if it was in the graveyard, we couldn't special summon low from the deck because of our own summon limit. So now the #1 priority should be getting rid of the opponent's monsters so that they can't go into a rank 4. That's what Gargoyle is trying to do. And now we basically only have the summon limit left. In addition, pushing the Mad Max Circular to 2.5k. Circular attack over the Diviner. And yeah, now we are in a tough spot if you ask me. And there can only be one, which is so good here because it just deals with the entire board.
Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit now coming down, however.
I think that's fine if you ask me, because we have that there can only be one for next turn. A Floodgate that also can be a board breaker, as you will see now.
The Linkuriboh coming out here as well. The Call by the Grave has been drawn, but all the Cyberse on the field now.
Do you know how Martnek can out that now?
How?
I don't know. I think it's just really hard to out, and as soon as we get to the point where we can just special summon one big body on the field, I think we're winning the game. And that's what we're going to do.
Radiance and the Voiceless Voice.
And I think Alucard realized he cannot deal with that there can only be one. I think we only play Cyberse cards in the main deck and in the extra deck.
Yeah.
I think we don't play SP at all because the extra deck is just so tight. And I think at a certain point you're locking yourself out of extra deck monsters except Cyberse monsters.
Yeah.
So there's just no way to deal with it.
So I'm actually seeing quite a lot of Mathmech today.
Yeah.
Why?
I told you the deck is good.
Yeah.
I still think today that to this day that Mathmech is a really strong deck. The only way to really counter Mathmech, in my opinion, is Maxi.
Okay.
You have to hope that your Maxi resolves, and if your Maxi doesn't resolve, one circular just does so much. It plays through one hand trap at least. You always need 2 to stop the circular. And then if they have an extender, you need at least a 3rd one. And if they have, for example, Firewall Defender, you need a 4th one.
Yeah.
And then you just wasted 4 cards on 2 of their cards. They still have 3 cards to deal with the 2 cards of yours next turn. So I think it's always a tough position if they get to that Mathmech Circular.
Indeed. And speaking of tough positions, we're now soon to be in round 7, the final round of the Swiss stage. Some players are just about to qualify for that top cut position. But we're going to still continue to talk about round 6 very, very briefly. Until, actually, we do swap to a pack video in just a moment.
Yeah.
Before that, however, I do want to just ask you, Emre, now that we've seen Mathmech, now that we've seen Labyrinth, what else are we looking forward to see in terms of unconventional strategies?
I wouldn't say it's unconventional, but I really expect to see Whitewoods now.
Okay,
because we're at the point where we're seeing a lot of good decks. But yeah, let's swap now. Let's take a short break, and let's see if we will see Whitewoods.
welcome back. I'm back with you, Ibris, and this is the determining and last round of Swiss number 7. This is where champions are made that are going to progress into top cut or not, because we cannot have more than 32 players advancing, and we're going to find out at least one of them now in our featured match. We go into the match right away, so let's see who brings it through here for this 7th round of Swiss, and we're going to see BOF yugioh versus someone that we know a lot from yesterday, T2 Abo, who has been crushing yesterday. And yugioh is known for one thing in this Challenger Cup community, and it's dinosaurs. Where's Edward Templer when you need him, right? He would be so happy right now. But yugioh is just, he has been crushing with this deck. No one else really besides him is playing this in Challenger Cups, but he is playing it to such a degree, which is incredible.
Xeno Meteorus now coming out. Baby Ceratosaurus as well. The Soul Eating Oviraptor will tribute off that Baby Ceratosaurus. The Destruction will in turn proc that. The Animadorned Archosaur as well. You have to imagine eventually we'll see Miscellaneousaurus. All of these good dinosaur cards now. They create such a difficult field to deal with. They have such sheer attack power with innate defense, thanks to that Miscellaneousaurus that is constantly threatened from the hand as well. Sprite Elf just going to add a further extension to this. This is a new way to play dinosaurs, but it's a really, really fun way at that.
For sure. It is a yugioh is still revolutionizing that dinosaur deck every single time that he's bringing out Evolsa Dolka now as well.
I like that. I play that in Dynamorphia.
Yeah, there you go. And look at that. You like Evolsa? There's Evolsa Last on top of it.
Not quite Evolsa Lagia, but still it's Disruption, and they are Disruption on fairly formidable bodies at that. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno as well. Fantastic for removal, fantastic for threat. And again, the biggest threat of the dinosaur deck is the Miscellaneousaurus, which you have to imagine is in the hand.
Most likely. Okay, Dolka immediately negating the Bestial Lubellion. Good thing about the Volsa Dolka is it only has to detach one material, and it does not have that very common restriction of being once per turn, meaning we can just negate another monster.
So Volsa Lagia is very similar in that regard, but it can negate anything, but that is the full commitment of all of the materials. So this was a conscious decision to focus on denying monster effects. Now, Foolish Burial, what did it send? Was it a branded card, I believe?
It was Albion, and Albion the Shrouded Dragon will be able to send Branded Retribution to the graveyard, which is always able to banish itself to then bring back a branded card from the graveyard to our hand. So this is usually a way of getting a Branded Fusion, which was sent there through many different ways, back into the hand. What's going on now, though? What is happening? We have Alba Venatos. Both of the Evolsa monsters are, of course, in fact, dragons. So we have a Contact Fusion. I don't know whether yugioh saw that coming. I will say not even me saw that coming.
And with them being dragons, they were not Miscellaneousaurus protected to begin with anyway, but it doesn't matter because Alba Venatos, as you said, is here to play. Aluba, the Jester of Despia as well. The branded fusion is there. Do we have a disruption on it from yugioh? Do we see something from this dinosaur deck? Because right now, if this branded fusion goes through, there's a potential for Abu Hamid to finish this.
Ash Blossom, and Joyous Spring. Answer to it ever is always super, super strong against
Tri-Brigade Mercuria,
negating the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, meaning we're free to resolve branded fusion, free to fusion some of materials from our deck. What could be better for a branded player? And Abo is the best branded player maybe on the planet.
You get an extra deck branded monster, and you get to send materials to your graveyard to set up for further summons, further disruption. Branded Fusion, that all-important card that must be disrupted at all costs, has resolved. The dinosaur deck, we love to see it, but branded is the one firmly in the position to succeed right now. Albion, the branded dragon, gonna fusion summon again on top of that.
Yeah, but one thing very noteworthy, we still have not activated the effect of our Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So we may still be able to get another turn by setting all of the monsters face down on the opponent's side of the field. I think yugioh is holding back with that a very long time here because, of course, you can also fusion summon with face down monsters. So you want to make sure there's no more fusion summoning happening for the rest of the turn. And as soon as all the monsters are set up, maybe when Mirror Jade is on the field and ready to activate its effect, that is going to be the moment we're activating the Tyranno then. But for now, we're also going to banish Mercuria, and Mercuria can use both of its effect per turn, so we did already negate, but we're also going to search now.
We are indeed going to search. Branded still in a great position here. Abu Hamid with that deck now. Soyeon, the dinosaur turn 1 looked so good, but it all got fused away. Usually we see Nibiru, the primal being, change the game. This time, instead, the field still gets cleared because of this fusion. Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous, we mentioned before, a quick and easy path towards the eventual Grand Guignol, the Dust Dragon, the Foolish Burial, the effective way to extend even further. But here is another fusion on top of that. Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon now coming to clear the field.
Oh, now, and we have to react with our Ultimate Conductor Tyranno now if we want to use it ever, and that is going to be the case. So otherwise it would have just been banished here as the Mirror Jade is not targeting, and we're also going to bring back the Sprite Elf. And probably with Sprite Elf, we bring back a monster that we want to destroy with the Tyranno. So that's possibly still a good combination, so because we get to destroy the baby, and then the baby is going to trigger bringing us another monster, possibly.
Yeah, so the sheer tenacity of this strategy to just continue to bring monsters to the field, really, really well respected here. We do see the resolution.
And the baby. What can the baby bring here? I think possibly just going for some setup, possibly just summon out an Oviraptor, searching for a Miscellaneousaurus. I could see that. There is the Oviraptor, in fact. I mean, we set all of those big fusion monsters, so it's not very likely that Abo can extend a whole lot from here. Maybe another big monster coming, but definitely not enough to close out the game. And then Soyeon sits there with setup for the next turn.
Yes, there is Miscellaneousaurus, of course. It will protect his monsters, provided they are, in fact, dinosaurs. Sprite Elf, notably, not a dinosaur. The Evolzars, not dinosaurs. But here is the commitment of a further dragon monster from the branded deck. Abu Hamid continuing to extend here. The Bestial Lubellion now continuing to extend here. Branded Lost hitting the field. Still in main phase 1, by the way.
Yep, absolutely. We get to bring out the Blazing Cartesia now. And we can fusion with face-down monsters, as I was just saying. Also, we could tribute the face-down Albion, because also the Bestial Lubellion doesn't care about it being face-up or face-down, just needs a dragon monster. And therefore, even though that Tyranno resolved, I was maybe a little fast to say that we're not going to seal it here in this turn, because when there's someone finding a line to still make 8,000 points of damage, it is Abo with his branded deck.
Grand Guignol, the Dust Dragon here now being the Foolish Burial effectively to allow further extension on top of that. But here we go. Branded Lost now resolving. Branded Lost will add another card to the hand, and we can just continue to push forward. Abu Hamid, the dinosaur first turn from Soyeon was so good, but this branded follow-up is also amazing.
Yeah, and now the Grand Guignol is going to be really good with the card we talked about earlier, because there is still the branded Retribution sitting in the graveyard. And as I explained to you, you can just banish it to add back a branded card from your graveyard to your hand. So whatever we send here with the Grand Guignol probably is going to end up in our hand shortly after. Okay, one step in between. Saroni is going to now also send an additional branded card to the graveyard, and that is probably going to be the one we're going to add back. And there is branded in white, and that can be an additional fusion summon.
And the Springens kit is an additional extender on top.
Sure.
To allow another summon, another spell or trap as well. Branded in white, as you said, would be the option to bring back to the hand, and also be the option to activate here. It's going to fusion summon again. This branded deck does not stop.
Abo surely no one to stop easily. He has been in the finals yesterday. There he was defeated, so he was the closest yesterday and then missing out. So today may be the day again. He is trying one more time. Is he going to be successful to reach the finals once more, though? It does definitely still look very strong. He is really the branded. Call him branded god here in Europe. He's just consistently confirming that basically every week by entering those Challenger Cups over and over again and performing in them at the highest level, always topping. Very often also winning. He's just so many titles already at this point.
I think this is also testament to the statement Emre made yesterday, where he said this 60-card branded deck does not care what the opponent has set up. It just plays through, it does its own thing. And right now, continues his own thing. Abu Hamid with the fusion summon here. Again into a new Mirror Jade the Ice Blade Dragon.
That's how it is. And we did use Albion the Shrouded Dragon from the graveyard for that. Because Albion the Shrouded Dragon is treated as Fawn of Alba as long as it is in the graveyard, so that was legal. requirement for the future of Mirror Jade. And guess what? Mirror Jade can now just use its effect again because it is once per copy on the field. That is a different Mirror Dragon now, and we are collecting attack points. This is looking like Abo might actually pull through and win the game this turn. This is absolute madness if you ask me. After getting 4 monsters flip face down there so early, battle phase that is. Now we have to do a quick map, but I think we might be on our way for game here.
So that is 9,700 damage on the field right now, but consider that Soyeon has the 1,400 of the Sprite Alpha and the 1,800 of the Soul Eating Overwrap, so that's 3,200.
Is Mirror Jade getting rid of the old Raptors? When you say that is 97, that would now be exactly 8,300 points of damage. So I believe Abo has once more just found a route to victory. This man cannot be stopped when he's activating branded cards and he's attacking for games, securing his spot in top 32 once again. What a legend.
We've seen math, we've made the calculations with simultaneous equation cannons, but ultimately it is branded that make it to above 8,000 points of damage in a single turn, regardless of the fact that all the monsters were placed down, regardless of the ultimate conductor Tyranno to face down. Really well played by Muhammad on that branded 60 card deck.
It never gets old watching too. Like I've seen Abo execute probably now at this point 50 times with this crazy branded decks. And every single time he does something new. Every single time he shows me, hey, you haven't seen this about my deck yet. Even though you have watched him so often, there's always something new coming out of it. And that's the beauty of this deck. It's seemingly unexplored in so many different ways, and he has explored all of those ways.
I was also really happy to see dinosaurs though. Even if it didn't work out. Of course, the Soul Eating Overwrap into the Baby Ceratosaurus, really iconic combo. But maybe we'll see some also interesting combos. See Stealth 2 coming out.
The Dino Chief playing Dino cards, using the effect of Labyrinth Chandelier. I do believe so. It has to be here from PyG. So we have big Labyrinth already available. Extravaganza for part of Extravaganza is going to give us 2 more cards. There's always a fair trade, 2 for 1. And that is Haru Shin.
Haru Shin Dark Reef being activated, but the Black Goat last does proc in the graveyard.
We're calling Yo-Yo Dragon King, and C-Stealth attack is being chained. We can activate Yumi from our hand or graveyard, and C-Stealth 2 of course is treated as that in our graveyard.
Electric Jellyfish pulls that disruption.
What is going on here? Swarming the field with 5 monsters. One of them being Giga. I haven't seen this card in ages.
Indeed, but Electric Jellyfish is a mainstay of the strategy, of course. The disruption that it offers, the monster effect or spell card or effect being negated here. So good. See stealth attack here. And now again, we saw 5 set from this Umi control deck. Now we're seeing 5 set in turn by the Labyrinth deck. Here comes what I believe is a Synchro 8.
It is Red. When you're playing against Labyrinth, having a card that can just easily negate all kind of spell trap cards activations is going to be massive. Red Guide will be negated, or will try to be negated by the dimensional barrier. But I mean, I think Archie is taking that trade, because that means we can at least not activate the Red Guide any further this turn. Oh my, Dogmatic Punishment, now Terror of the Overroot. Archie definitely has pack trap cards available here, getting rid of Haru-Shin there.
Yeah, so Haru-Shin of course was kind of soft preventing the big Labyrinth and the one Labyrinth from getting additional Labyrinths from the field because they are not water. But now with that gone, the Labyrinth strategy can play again. The furniture is unlocked. Ariana the Labyrinth is adding to the hand as well. And suddenly Haru-Shin's Dark Reef has been activated again. Arias the Labyrinth. They're trading back and forth.
This is a minimal duel. This is something I did not expect. But I feel like the Umi control deck is actually not bad to Labyrinth, because it does have the ability to keep up with it, to do have a really good resource game, and the resources keep on flowing. We bring up the Mega there again. And we do activate. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Getting within the permanence. That triggers the Lady Labyrinth, though. So, on the one hand, we get the value of negating, but then we also give the opportunity to eradicate the epidemic virus. Oh my, and now going to use the impermanence left and right. The impermanence here next really isn't it?
Yep.
No ending inside. And now also in the column, of course, of the trap card of IG.
Getting back the electric jellyfish to stop a monster effect, however. Very powerful. Labyrinth Chandelier being used in the end phase.
Getting well Labyrinth around. And look at that. Self-attack wants to bring back the Giga.
So I think with the impermanence column there was no Umi on the field technically because of the negation. So the electric jellyfish maybe could not be activated.
Yeah. That's probably true. So Arias and Draga is negating.
Trying to rationalize Umi control.
Yeah. It's a great deck. It's a fun deck for sure. I haven't seen it in a while on Master Duel, but definitely is a very fun and cool deck with all those water monsters.
Very fun and cool as well is the destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. We've seen it change games by itself. Here is another negation. Having to remove the electric jellyfish to unlock some of these monster effects.
Still, on the other hand, we have a really powerful start from the Umi control deck. But Labyrinth, we have been mentioning it today, that this deck is really one of the best decks in the format now again. And it is showing that it is really keeping up, even though that the Umi deck had such a strong and powerful start. But now, that is going to be the need to activate the Daruma Karma Cannon, negating Dragon. What's the last card? Oh, it's getting rid of the Dragon and making sure to resolve the Daruma Karma Cannon. Good that finally the Dragon is gone, because the Dragon was negating card after card. And like, having that card around for too long will always hurt the control deck.
Yep.
Especially one that relies on so many trap cards in their deck. Okay, and we have to pass it back over. So no more water monsters on the field for PG. Item Chief also only one set monster, which is a lady and one set card. Let's see how far it can get us. Probably flipping up the lady first, so that it is protected and also gives us the opportunity whenever trap is activated to deal with that. Okay, setting another card. That probably means when we set another card there, we probably want to activate the other trap card. We still would have a set card on the field to protect the lady from being targeted or destroyed. So we'll be surprised that other card is being activated now. Maybe Labyrinth and then the battle phase after we attack. Let's see. Dino Chief currently trying to make no mistakes going into the battle phase as anticipated.
And we know there are two electric jellyfish face down here, so two monster effect games allowed to continue. Ocean Dragon will carry you as well now.
We will be trying to get over that.
So again, it is basically soft lock you out of the one labyrinth and the big one labyrinth, because you cannot have multiple monsters and not water.
Yeah, for sure. That is the strategy right now, and does seem like that is a pretty good overall pick against the Labyrinth strategy. I really like it. So we're running over the Fortress Way there, but resources from Dino Chief, it looked like he was keeping up really well with the Umi deck. All of a sudden, it might come down to PG just having more monsters overall to play with. Labyrinth usually quite tight on monsters, but I think here in that particular situation, it might be too tight. And now we do get the Kaioshun back in the end phase, and we have all the monsters set face down by the Daruma Karma Cannon. When you resolve the Daruma Karma Cannon to set monsters, you usually want to have a plan to then deal with them afterwards, and we did not have that. We don't have the resources to deal with them, and therefore still now just sitting there face down on the field, able to be flipped face up.
Still do not have the face up electric jellyfish because this is the standby phase. So this that camera resolve. The Labyrinth of the Silver Castle will get another trap. The trap trick will of course get another trap as well. Do we see another Karma Cannon? Do we see the simultaneous equations cannons? Because right now we're seeing Ice Dragon's Prison, but it of course cannot be activated this turn.
That's true. Wave Cannon would be interesting. What is it going to be? It's going to be big Labyrinth. That one would be able to activate this turn.
So confident that we can get rid of Kaioshun somehow.
Has to be, sure. Or we just try to set up eventually, but now, for the moment, we can only activate one more trap card. So How do we get rid of the counter? I don't really know. I think Dynasty just tried to set up. Eventually, he had to do this in the standby space before the jellyfishes are being flipped face up again. But the situation for PyG is great, and it's getting greater as Fish Soda is being activated. He does have Umi on the field, meaning you can special summon a water monster from your deck on top of the searching here. So we're searching for the Doom Kraken. It has been ages since I saw that. I think we already special summoned the normal monsters that were running. We saw the Frostosaurus earlier on, therefore we can't special summon anything anymore, as it's not in our deck anymore. But still... Oh no! What is going on? PyG! There must have been a way to deal with this. PyG surrendered though. Yeah, still refreshing and fun to see.
That was really fun. I love seeing the Umi control and the unconventional strategy come through. Did really well in the labyrinth, which we mentioned, of course. Electric jellyfish only being able to stop monsters and spells. Unfortunate when you're playing against trap decks. Still really promising to see just how competitive that was. And really happy earlier for the matchup against yugioh deck. Phantom of Yugioh can be played around quite easily from Labyrinth. Of course, it is only caring about monster effects. But now I would not guessed that I would also say that about the Umi control matchup, because there you can play around electric jellyfish all of a sudden, apparently. Pretty good to know. But we could deliver you that information, of course, now here with our feature match for round number 7. But we have more to witness, more to see. So into another game we go. Let's see what this last round of Swiss still has to offer here. Round 7 has been fantastically exciting so far. We've seen a lot of variants in the deck. We've seen your standard deck, your Snake Fire King, your Dragon. But we've also seen dinosaurs. We've seen Umi control. But this time around it will be that aforementioned Snake Eye deck versus another Snake Eye deck.
Looks like two pure variants. Dominic someone that has had really big success this season already with the Snake Eye variant. He's one of those players that just plays the pure variant and is having really good success with it. Usually carrying it up with the Kashira cards and also just a lot of interaction like Fact Failure, as we already see in their hand. And that Snake Eye's Diabell Star was such a big push to the pure approach of the Snake Eye strategy. And therefore it is no wonder that it's already on the field for Dominic.
Snake Dragon being linked off in tandem with that Snake Eye Diabell Star to make the IE Masquerade. Important to note, no disruption in hand Bencharo here. There is the Failure, the Ashcross from Spring. If Dominic wants to run interference, you have to consider Dominic in a fantastically good position. Getting to go first, set up his own disruptions on the field, and having access to a further two in the hand to the zero of Bencharo so far.
Very much. Looks really good jumping against the moment.
Though, Crosshouse Designator is very powerful in mirror match especially.
True, because you can actually go after engine cards, you can call Snake Eye after something like that. Or a potential Snake Eye Blumberstring. Problem though, Bencharo has Snake Eye Blumberstring in his hand right now, and therefore probably not another copy in the deck. So calling Blumberstring is not going to be that big of an option here. Another interesting card out of the hand from Bencharo is Snake Eye Birch. So the Snake Eye engine in general overall is hit pretty strongly already in Master Duel, as Poplar is at 1, Snake Eye Ash is at 1, so the limitations are quite severe. So we are now even pivoting over to cards like Snake Eye Birch, which is not usually played in this.
My only regret is that Emre is not casting the Kikinagashi Fucho summon, but alas.
Another winged beast, but he got to see the black wing deck earlier on, so I think
that
he had enough winged beasts for the day already, but there can never be enough winged beasts, of course, for Emre. Now we're using the effect of Kikinagashi Fucho, and that is going to mean that Dominic surely and certainly is going to survive this turn, as there's no real way to off this card at all.
We go into the SP Little Knight on that quick effect link summoning thanks to the IP Masquerena as well, getting what is effectively a free banish here, removing the Diabell Star, the Black Witch, from the equation. There is a wanted set face down, but ultimately it won't do much now.
Yeah, I think that was a really good play by Dominic there, because usually you try to wait with this for a little longer, but he saw that wanted was set off of the Diabell Star, the Black Witch, and therefore that means there has to be that original Sinful Sports already in the hand. And therefore you just want to make sure that there is no face-up card on the field that they could send off of that. So immediately going for the Little Knight, and now immediately sealing the deal. So it looks like Dominic once more is going to join us for another top cut. And he has been crushing this season. One top cut after each other. multiple wins already, and this is his deck. It's just, he has been playing this non-stop. He's a big enjoyer of it. He is one of my candidates now that I see that he's in the tournament to maybe also win today.
So tell me more about how players are answering the pure Snake Eye in terms of its dominance right now.
I wouldn't say necessarily that it's that dominant, because it's a lot of different variants, and I would say the pure Snake Eye variant is the least dominant one,
Yeah.
because we see more Fire King. We also have seen the Horus variant, which is not very popular
True.
either.